Welcome back to Cosmeholics Anonymous. I am your favorite baby mama bougie vintage, and today's video is Botox. Hey girl, I love your channel. So I have a little problem here with my man. He's on his strike 2 with me. So recently I found out that he was sending emoji. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at this. It just sounds ridiculous. So recently I found out that he was sending emojis to this other girl. Mind you, she looks a whole mess. But anyways, he tried to make it seem like I'm tripping for finding it on his phone on Snapchat. I'm also 8 months pregnant with our daughter, and we live together. She definitely had her baby by now, child, because this is from October 26th. I caught him another time texting another female, and it was extreme flirting. She would be sending him pictures and all, and he said that he never thought it was wrong because it was like his best friend. I feel like I can't just walk away from my life. It's different when you're building with someone. So it's hard to know what to do in a situation like this. He won't even admit he's cheated on me, and I've never cheated on him. I think he just has a guilty conscience. But I need some help or advice ASAP. First of all, if I'm pregnant, if I'm pregnant and I catch something in my man's phone, it's going to be World War III in this motherfucker. Like, no. Especially 8 months pregnant. That's such a hard time. Like, I'm in my final stretch. I have 1 week left. This is my 9th month of pregnancy. But even at 8 months, if I were to go through Shooter's phone and find something in there, like, my house would be burned down to the ground with him inside. Like, no joke. Oh my gosh. Like, I can't even deal. I cannot deal. You never told me how long you guys have been in a relationship for, so I don't know what your history is. The stuff he's doing in his phone, that stuff that you might catch in the beginning stages of relationship, not in the stage where it's been years, you guys are having kids, might be getting married or are married. Like, men know what's right and what's wrong. They just like to play like they don't. They like to act dumb. And so, you know, I can understand if maybe he hasn't been in a relationship in a long time and this is all new to him, but then why are you guys pregnant? You know what I mean? Obviously, this is, if you said you're building something with him, so that means that you guys are not fully established. At the end of the day, he damn well knows that he shouldn't be getting no pictures from no bitches to his phone, and he shouldn't be sending nobody no flirtatious ass emojis. It's not okay. Because there's now a child involved and there's a baby in the picture, it does make it all the more hard. But at the end of the day, staying for the kids is never the answer. Co-parenting is a thing. And I mean, if you have no hard evidence that he cheated on you, then it boils down to a conversation that you have to have. You have to set your boundaries, put your foot down and say, this is what's appropriate, this is what's not, and keep it moving. If it is a case where he did cheat on you, then you have to then take into consideration how that is going to affect your child life in the future. If your child grows up witnessing that the father is, or the mother is constantly forgiving the other person for doing things that they shouldn't be doing, it's going to affect them in the long run. It's like if you grew up in a home where your mom was constantly getting hit, or you grew up in a home where your mom was constantly being cheated on, you might end up with somebody that keeps cheating on you, and you might keep turning around and forgiving them, and it's just a cycle that doesn't get broken. So you have to be careful and be mindful of that. That's when it's important that you actually do leave, because if you don't, the child is going to grow up in that environment and think it's okay. That's when it's dangerous. Like I said, because you don't have hard evidence that he cheated on you, it comes down to a conversation. If you can't figure it out, then you need to move on. Because at the end of the day, just because you're having a kid doesn't mean you have to be with somebody. Hey Bo, I love you and your channel so much, never miss a video. But today I'm here with something that's been bothering me for months. So back in January, my friend and I went to a party where we met up with a few other male friends. One in particular I was instantly attracted to because he was a tall glass of chocolate milk, LOL. So while we were at the party, I was trying to flirt, but he didn't realize, I think, LOL. Anyways, fast forward to like February, my friend had just came out of a serious relationship that ended badly. So she told me she wanted to start a relationship with the same guy I liked. I didn't tell her that I liked him because, you know, she knew him way before me. So I thought maybe there were underlying feelings. So they started their relationship, but she wasn't really into it because I guess she wanted to be free-spirited after her breakup because she didn't tell anyone they were together. Mind you, we've been friends since high school and we had our little squad, but after we left, it wasn't as strong. But me and her, still kept a connection. So anyways, I was the only one she told about their relationship at first, but then she told another one of our friends. To everyone else that knew her, Jay was her best friend. So a little while passed and they had sex, but she still didn't claim him as her boyfriend or anything. They ended up breaking up because she said she didn't want a relationship at the moment. She wanted to have fun. So that ended. Because of this, I didn't really pursue him because, you know, they were together even after they broke up. But this summer, we ended up DMing each other. We were always cool, never flirtatious or anything. So we got to texting and just laughing, enjoying a normal convo. Then he gave me his number and we started to iMessage. And the rest was history. We talked every day since. So another party was coming up that me and the same friend were planning on going to, which I knew he would be there, and we planned on meeting up. So at the party, we met up with my friend. They were cordial with each other, so it was cool, and it was lit. So a few days after the party, he told me that he liked me and wanted me to be his girlfriend. I honestly didn't start talking to him with the intention of getting with him, but after a while, the feeling was mutual. Still didn't tell him. I was very hesitant because you know the whole girl code thing, and I really didn't want to break that. Then I talked to a few other friends, and they were saying that that relationship wasn't really serious based off her actions, so they said I should talk to her first and see what she says. So I texted her and told her that he said he wanted me to be his girlfriend, and she completely went off on me, asking what kind of friend I am and so forth. Then she went on to say she herself didn't have any feelings for him. She was just using him to get over her ex-boyfriend, which Jay told me really hurt him. So I was like, why are you acting like this if you don't care for him either way? Anyway, she said she didn't care and I should have a happy relationship. Bo, I really like Jay. He makes me happy and he's a really great guy, but I also miss her too. We're not beefing or anything, but she's real shady, and when we are around our friends, it's just really awkward. I don't know what to do, Bo. Should I talk to her or just leave it alone? Thank you so much in advance. Love you. P.S. Don't post a vid with this story in it. Read it and reply. Why wouldn't you put that at the beginning of the fucking email? Whoa. Fuck that. Too bad. I don't have time to waste. So because I read this, you don't have a choice. It's going in the video. So sorry about it. Like, deal with it. Hopefully you change people's names. I think you should have a conversation with her. And if she's your real friend, if you guys are truly friends, she'll understand where you're coming from. And if she just used him as a rebound, I don't understand what the issue is. That is wrong on so many levels. You can't be using people. People are not things. People are not objects. You're not supposed to use people. So she was wrong for using him, and she's wrong for even saying that and admitting that. But some girls are like that, and they don't want you to be happy, genuinely. They don't want you to have things that they have or things that they had. Now, with a boy, it's a little different, but you can't let somebody dictate, or somebody else dictate your happiness. Because for all you know, this person, Jay, you guys can be in a relationship for a very long time. and you never know where your relationship is gonna go. So you can't let somebody else dictate whether or not you get to talk to this person. If she's not mature enough to let you guys just be in a relationship and be happy and whatever, hunky-dory, then she's not a good friend. And I mean, you guys should be able to talk about it if you guys are real friends. If you guys can't talk about it, then move on, and you guys don't need to be friends anymore, and you can be in your relationship and you can find new friends. It's as simple as that. It's not really that complicated. It's not that hard. Before I even read this one, do not email me if you just want a reply, because I don't really reply. If you're gonna email me, it's going in the Botox video. I didn't really make this email so that you guys can message me and I message back. I don't have time. So if you want help, or if you want advice, if I even get to your email, if you're lucky enough that I get to your email, it's going in the video. So don't bother telling me not to put it in the video and not to reply, because that's wasting my time. And especially not if you put it at the end of the email and I've already read it on camera, you're shit out of luck. Anyway, hey, I hope you see this, because believe me, I need some help. So my best friend and I have been great friends for a few years. Our friendship got closer when he left his girlfriend because she wasn't comfortable with our initial friendship and she wanted him to stop speaking to me. At the time, I didn't think much of it except that he respected me and enjoyed my friendship more than his relationship. As years went on, he hadn't been in a relationship since, but the both of us would go out a lot as if we were together. I saw it as though we are best friends because I had a man anyway, but later I found out he always told his friends he was into me. Little did I know he was in love with me the whole time. I became single, and recently he gathered the courage to ask me to be his girlfriend, and I didn't have the guts to tell him no, and that I don't really see him that way. I love him, but not in that way, and I'm afraid this is going to hurt our relationship. I'm now his girlfriend, but I don't want to be. What? But I don't want to be. He's an amazing guy, but I'm not sexually attracted. What should I do? I don't know why you wouldn't say yes to him if you didn't want to say yes. Like, you can't, like, not. You know what's funny? My mom always told me to marry my best friend. Always. When I was little and young, she would always say, marry your best friend. And so when I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. You know, your best friend's in love with you. You should marry. But sometimes you're not attracted to the person that's attracted to you. And sometimes it takes time, because I tell you guys this all the time. When I first met Shooter, I wasn't trying to be in a relationship with anybody, much less him. And it just took a little time. He grew on me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a try, you know. And here we are 5 years later, damn near married with a baby. Like, so 6 years? Whatever, 2012. Yeah, so 6 years. You just never know. I just really loved being around him. I loved his personality, and he grew on me. And like, that's just, it is what it is. But your situation's complicated, because if you had just said no to begin with, it may have still ruined the friendship. But now you're in a relationship with this person and you're not attracted to him physically, and so you might say something to him like you need time before you guys can actually, you know, do, if ever, and he may or may not understand. It's not too late to be honest with him and just tell him exactly what you just told me and say you kind of freaked out when you said yes and you feel like it's moving too fast and you want to slow down and take it back and, like, you know, really ease into it if you guys can. But you feel bad because you guys are supposed to be best friends and it's like a lose-lose situation. Tell him that you feel like if you said, no, I don't want to be your girlfriend because I don't see you like that as much as I do love you. I'm not in love with you and I don't see us working out as a couple, even though I want you in my life forever. You can be that honest, or you can say, and then also tell him, and then on the other hand, I feel like by saying yes to you, I still feel like I didn't make the right decision, and I don't know whether to tell you yes or no about being your girlfriend. But what I do know is that I'm not in love with you and I'm not physically attracted to you, and I don't know if it's something that I'm just gonna have to take time to develop for you and try to, like, not picture you as my best friend and picture you in a relationship, because I feel like if we're best friends, we can work as a couple, or because we're best friends, we can't work as a couple. You need to have a conversation with him and just be honest with him. And, you know, at this point, depending on how understanding he is, it might not work out for the best either way. You might lose your friend. That's just, it is what it is. But if people are in your life for seasons, and his season might just be over. So see you best friend. See you never. Hey Bo, by the time you see this, Cecil will probably be a year old or something, so congratulations on your baby girl. Well, no, I'm seeing this now, and this child needs to come out of my damn uterus. I have an issue that I can only get advice from you, as I don't know anyone in this situation. I also one day hope to get advice from you, as from what I understand, your family sounds incredibly similar to mine, minus the blessed abundance of siblings. I particularly need advice from you regarding daddy issues, but that's another story for another day. So to get into why I'm rating you, I recently started talking to a guy. He is of the Caucasian persuasion. I don't tend to give a lot of guys the time of day because I'm bougie. Not everyone gets a seat at the table. Okay, you better let them know, sis. It's also because I'm 20 and I'm a virgin and plan to keep it that way until marriage. Never kissed anyone yet. Never had a man yet. So I'm not here to be toyed around with. Okay, sis. One day I was talking to the guy and I mentioned my church. This guy had the audacity to ask if my church was a black music church. I was like, fuck you mean? That's not a thing. I think he meant Pentecostal. I know he was saying if my church is like the stereotypical church you see in the movies. I get asked this question by white people every time I mention my church. I think it's a weird question. Shoot, ain't never asked me no dumbass question like that, but whatever. But girl, surely he must know the stupid ass question. Is this a red flag? No, because ignorance is just, it's there, okay? Should I expect to have to educate him on something basic like that? How should I have responded? Is this normal? I'm sure Shooter is smarter than that, but did he ask any dumb questions when you guys were getting to know each other? Absolutely not, because Shooter is a hood man. Like, Shooter's from the hood. Shooter's from Scarborough. It's not an act. It's not a freaking, facade. That's like really him. Shooter's in the street. Like, that's how he is. That's how he was grown. That's how he was brought up. You know what I mean? Because of that, he's cultured. He's not an idiot. He's been to church with black friends. You know what I mean? He's been everywhere. He knows what things are. If you're from Scarborough, you just know what things are. Like, you know what I mean? You know the culture. You know different cultures. So he doesn't really have to ask stupid questions like that. Being around his family, on the other hand, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, okay? But anyway, thank you in advance, and I hope to hear from you whenever that may be. Lots of love, Christy. You're from the UK. Is he not a road man? Like, to me, the question he asked was not a red flag, but it does tell me that you're probably gonna have to constantly be educating him on certain things, on what's appropriate, on what's not, and it can get frustrating. See, I'm lucky I didn't really have to go through that with Shooter. You can grow up in the hood all day, but at the end of the day, if you are not black, you can never relate to being black. It is what it is. Even though, even though I'm sure Shooter has stories of being face down on the ground, arrested with his hands behind his back beside his friends. Shooter ain't got no white privilege where we're from. Like, there's no white priv over here. He ain't getting away with nothing over here. But he still can't relate to certain things. Like, it's just like in the story time I told you guys about the apartment. He understood what was happening. He understood that my feelings were hurt, but he could not relate. He could not understand how I could feel that way, because he's never going to have to feel that way. At the end of the day, I still have to educate him, and I still have to keep him on his toes about that kind of stuff, especially now that he's going to have a child that is going to grow up just like me, because at the end of the day, my kid's black. Like, I don't care what anybody says. She's half white, but she's black. She's gonna be looked at as black, especially where we live. Like, that is a black child. She's biracial, but she's black. So, and he's going to have to know how to talk to her about certain things, and he's going to have to learn as we go. But I don't think that that was really a red flag. Like, it's not that big of a deal that he asked if it's a black music church. It's a weird way to put it, but we knew what he was trying to say. I guess he didn't know the term Pentecostal or whatever it might be called where you're from. But if you want to be in an interracial relationship with somebody that is not cultured, then you're gonna have to be willing to educate them. And I see it a lot on YouTube, actually, because there's so many interracial relationships on YouTube. I see it a lot on YouTube, and I'm looking at the guys that the girls are with, and I'm just like, he needs a little seasoning in his sauce, okay? He needs to season his sauce a little bit. And I hear them saying some things, and I'm just like, what? Like, I get so vexed. Like, I have to turn this shit off because I'm just like, what is going on right now? You could tell that the person, or you could tell that the person that's Caucasian hasn't been educated. But you can also tell when the black person in the relationship feels some sort of way about either their skin color, or you could tell that they only date out of their race, and it's complicated. But like I said, if you want to date interracial, you're gonna have to become a teacher, basically. And I have another one that's about interracial dating. So let's see. I'm 15 and I am mixed. I usually don't talk to boys around my area. I usually turn them down because I know how boys are at this age. I am very, very mature for my age. Said every 15-year-old ever. We'll see by the time we get to the end of this email, okay? I'll let you know if you're mature. But anyways, I finally decided to talk to this boy who lives close to me. We'll call him Jay. We decided to meet at a mall, and my grandparents and his parents came. This is cute. I really like him. He's very respectful and he's very sheltered. He has a good mindset and knows what he wants. But the problem is my grandparents. My grandma doesn't have a problem with me dating black boys, but I don't know how my grandpa feels. He is usually very open and he likes meeting new people, but when they met, something was just off. He wasn't disrespectful or rude. He cracked jokes like normal, but I don't know. Oh, and my grandma had worked with Jay's dad. When we got home, my grandpa had an attitude, which he never does. I'm scared for myself because I can see me and Jay actually having a relationship, but I know how my grandparents reacted to my mom when she got pregnant with me. They kicked her out of the house and basically out of the family. None of my great aunts or uncles or white family really talks to me. Oh, see, this is what I'm... Oh my goodness. My grandparents or my mom. It's really scary because my mom is nearly in her 40s and can't support herself because I think she has mental problems, anger. But I don't blame them on her, but mostly on my grandparents. This is why I live with my grandparents. I'm just terrified for what they would do to me. Help me. More details. My grandma said the reason they decided to take care of me is because they came to realize they are my grandparents, and without them, I don't know where I'd be. Also, I don't like white guys. I'm not racist, but they're just not my type. And my mom has a drug and alcohol problem. Me and my dad are fine. I love him to death. He's like a best friend, but he just can't support me financially. By the way you wrote this, I am going to assume your grandfather or your grandparents are Caucasian and your father's side of the family is the black side. And I'm going to assume that that is why you're saying you only like black guys, and that your grandpa might be having flashbacks of when your mom got pregnant, and that's kind of why he was being a little weird or shady at the mall with Jay. As long as you don't get pregnant, I don't think you have anything to worry about. Your grandparents have nothing to worry about. If you aren't going to be banging Jay, there's nothing for your grandparents to worry about. But that's obviously going to be in the back of their mind because they might think, oh shit, here we go again. This little black boy's gonna come in here and fuck up our lives. Like, you never know what's really going on in their head, and so it's not fair that they're gonna try to project your mom's life onto yours. But if that's their daughter and that's how they feel, and they had to pick up and raise you because your mom's not stable enough to do it, then they're gonna want to hold you a little closer to home. You know, they're gonna want to protect you and make sure that you don't get into the same trouble your mom got into if she was young when it happened. I think you should just take it easy. If you and Jay end up being in a relationship, then just be in a relationship. You know, you guys, it's young love. You guys gonna just play video games. I don't freaking know what kids do these days, but just don't have sex and you guys should be fine. I think that's usually when young teenagers start dating. The parents, grandparents, whoever's in charge of the child, that's what's in the back of their head. They're worried about what kind of trouble you're going to get into at this age. So as long as you're just a good little girl, they ain't got shit to worry about. And you can have that conversation with them if you want to. But that's completely up to you. So last weekend, my plug was out of town. So I was asking people who usually have weed for some. This ratchet already, chat. Anyways, one of the people I asked was my close friend. Let's call her Nicole. For some, and she refers me to this guy I went to junior prom with last year. I never really was close with him. We were just acquaintances. Let's call him Bob. Okay, why Bob, sis? Like, really, Bob? So you could have came up with a better name than Bob, okay? So even Bobby, I would have been like, all right, cool, Bobby, not Bob. Bob sounds like an old 40-year-old guy. So I asked him he refers me to people, and I eventually got it, but that's not the point of this story. Fast forward to Monday, and I'm in class with Nicole. She tells me how Bob wants to one of her friends and how she's scared to tell her. She's describing her, and it sounds a lot like me, kind of prude, in marching band. Asked her for weed the past weekend, so I'm sitting there like, I'm interested now, but I wasn't gonna say shit because I wasn't sure if it was me, although I'm kind of sure, LMAO. So then class ends, and 10 minutes later, I'm in lunch, and finally get the balls to text Nicole about it, and this girl tells me she wasn't talking about me, so I was like, fine, whatever, I guess, haha. So I asked who it was and said I could probably help. I didn't want to help. I'm just a nosy bitch. She tells me that she already told the person. That's when I was like, the fuck? This makes no sense, because I literally saw her 10 minutes ago and she was scared to tell the person. So how could she tell them so fast? LOL. Anyways, I was salty, and fast forward to Monday night and I see she posted something on Instagram complaining about people who just so I was like, I'm curious, but still too scared to say anything, LOL. Why is you a chicken? So now it's Sunday night, and I'm still a lonely little hoe. So like, the fuck? Don't judge me, LMAO. I'm just trying to live life while I can out here. Let me know what you think I should do, LMAO. Thanks. Bob's not interested in you. Why are you trying to bust it open for Bob? Like, what? Dakota told you it's not you, so leave it alone. Like, what did I just read? You need Jesus. Let me look at this picture of yours. I can't even open it. It won't open. Listen, sis. No, Bob don't want you. So take your little marching band ass back to marching band class, okay? Oh, God. Hey, Bo, my name is Kalia. I'm in the 7th grade, so it all started on September 6, 2017. I live in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I go to... Why are you giving me all this information? You want somebody to come find you? Like, me and him talked for about 1 month. Then on October 16th, girl, he asked me out. Oh, she meant 1 month, child. This says mount. It's like Christmas came early. So then, like 4 days before we're even a month, we broke up, then got back together. December 11th, he texted me and said, don't text me. I said, why? He said, just don't. I had to find out by his friend. His friend said, TM saw a video of me kissing another boy, then called me a slut and bitch and a hoe. I hate going to my 8th period. You know what? I can't. Because I cannot. And I just can't.